Champion Jack Johnson versus challenger James J. Jeffries. One of the great events in sports history is just 24 hours away as we look at downtown Reno, Nevada on July 3rd, 1910. Tomorrow, heavyweight champion Jack Johnson will defend his crown against the man who is already a legend in his time, former heavyweight champion James J. Jeffries. Jeffries retired undefeated in 1904, over 6 years ago. The city of Reno is in a frenzy as 15,000 fight fans swarm into the little town. This is the fight the entire boxing world has been waiting for. A clash between the two men who are ranked as the greatest heavyweight champions of all time.
All ears and eyes were riveted on the small 42-year-old dusty town of Reno, Nevada, population of 10,867. Reno had secured the most anticipated event of the century, the so-called Fight of the Century, featuring Jack Johnson, the heavyweight champion, and Jim Jeffries, the challenger. The event should have been called the race fight of the century, because make no doubt about it, this was white versus black. Johnson, who had won the championship in 1908, epitomized everything that the white race hated. He was brash, turning his opponents in the ring, chatted with his white girlfriend at ringside while bashing his opponent around the ring. So the country scrounged the world over looking for someone, anyone, who would wipe that grin off his face and teach that boy a lesson. Here we see Jeffries at his Moana spring training camp, going through his daily workouts for the crowds who had come out to watch him. The fans were sometimes disappointed because Jeffries would simply go fishing. The 35-year-old Jeffries, former world champion who had retired in 1904, had been out of the ring for 6 years and his weight had ballooned up to 336 pounds. But with a guarantee of a 60-40 split on a purse of $101,000, also a $10,000 signing bonus, Jeffries agreed to come out of retirement. At least someone had to teach that boy a lesson and give him a good beating. This fight was originally scheduled to be fought in San Francisco. However, due to pressure on the California governor by a lot of so-called do-gooders who considered boxing a barbaric blood sport, the California governor canceled the fight. While most states considered boxing illegal, the promoters looked to the cash-strapped Nevada with some politicking and probably some under-the-table cash. Nevada okayed the fight on June 21st, 1910, which meant that a 20,000-seat stadium had to be constructed in less than 3 weeks. The carpenters worked 10 hours a day, and they were kept happy by the construction boss. Each day around 3:30 p.m., he would bring in 5 gallons of booze, which kept the workers going, albeit a bit tipsy.
Now at 9 o'clock in the morning, the trains are arriving every half hour, bringing fight fans to see the match that has been billed as the Battle of the Giants. No sooner does one train unload when the next one pulls in jammed to capacity. Outside the arena, 4 hours before fight time, $50 ringside seats are being scalped for $125 each. And in 1910, $125 represented the purchasing power of nearly $1,000 today. Inside the arena, the lucky fight fans with tickets waved to motion picture cameras 3 hours before fight time.
With trains arriving every half an hour, loaded with fans and passengers, by fight time, Reno's population had increased to over 30,000. With only 2 trolleys to ferry fans to the stadium located at what is now 4th Street East and Toana, most fans started walking towards the arena. The fight was scheduled for 45 rounds and was supposed to begin at 1 p.m., but with all the hullabaloo, it was well after 2:30, and at that time the temperature was well above 110 in the shade, and there was no shade. The sheriff had banned all guns and alcohol. However, it was rumored that there were a designated sniper, sharpshooter, stationed in the crowd with the task to take out Johnson if he started getting the best of Jeffries. Shortly after 2:30 p.m., Johnson entered the ring and was introduced to the crowd with some cheers, mostly jeers. Johnson smiles and waved to the crowd. Next, Jeffries entered the ring. The crowd comes to their feet and begin cheering and roaring. Johnson in his corner stands and cheers also. You know he's a showman. As far as excitement goes for this fight, it was rather dull. Lots of holding, clinching, shoving, and just shuffling around the ring until, as round 14 ends, you could sense that the heat and Johnson was beginning to get to Jeffries. Round 15, here we go. Jeffries moves to the center of the ring. Jeffries steps back, goes into a crouch. Johnson is faint, moves in, pushes Jeffries against the ropes. Now Johnson has Jeffries in a clinch, holds him with one hand, hits him with a left hook, hits him with another left hook. Jeffries goes down, first time in his career. Johnson steps back, puts his hands on his hips, walks around the ring. Jeffries beginning to get up. Johnson darts in. The ref comes in. Johnson lands a tremendous left. Jeffries goes through the ropes. The ref is not starting to count, as if he really doesn't know what's going on here. The fans comes in, help Jeffries back to his feet. Jeffries is still dazed, stunned. Johnson chases Jeffries around the ring, throws punches with bad intention. Jeffries goes down again. The ref steps in between them, pushes Johnson away. Now the crowd is coming into the ring after Johnson. Nope, they're coming in to protect Jeffries. Jeffries' handlers are in the ring. Rickett sends Johnson to a neutral corner. I believe the fight may be over. It is over. Jeffries' trainers get Jeffries to his feet and moves him to his corner. And as the news goes out over the world and White Hope fades into oblivion, race riots breaks out all across America, although surprisingly Reno remained calm and peaceful.